Hello, movie lovers, and welcome to Movie Notes. Today we're going to be talking about Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle, which is sort of a sequel, reboot type thing to the Jumanji movie that was released in the 1990s starring Robin Williams. And this one did a great job of not only capturing the idea of Jumanji and the theme of Jumanji, but bringing it into the modern world. So if you don't know about the original, Jumanji is a movie that involves these kids playing a board game, and every time they roll, something happens that brings animals into real life, sort of a stampede or deadly flowers or something along those lines. And this one, instead of having the board game bring the animals here, they took our players and put them inside the game or inside a world known as Jumanji. Now, how it sort of gets there is these four kids from different backgrounds get put into detention and they find this little video game in a donation bin. And like, hey, let's play it. And when they do that, they select their avatars and they get sucked into the game. And the four avatars are played by four pretty well-known actors of the day: Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Kevin Hart, Jack Black, and Karen Gillan. And what's really interesting is all four of these characters picked avatars that were nothing like themselves in real life. Okay? The guy that picks Dwayne Johnson, or The Rock, is a nerd. He loves video games. We see him opening up in his first scene. He's playing video games. And then all of a sudden, he's struck into this very macho leader action role, and he has no idea what to do. And it's really cool to kind of see how that is played out. And I thought The Rock did a great job at playing that out and really showing the two sides of it. It really was a different role for him because he was The Rock playing a nerd, playing The Rock. I mean, it was just a really interesting dynamic that they created with that. Kevin Hart, sort of the same thing, only he, being a small person, was played by a football star in real life. And the football star comes in and all of a sudden he's no longer the big guy. Okay, he is now the small guy who's in charge of carrying around the equipment, but he's also the zoologist. He knows about all the animals and what things can happen, and that comes in handy. Karen Gillan, her person is just sort of a basket case type person, like from The Breakfast Club, where there's kind of in the background, there's kind of there. It's like, okay, I just want to get through life. I don't want to do anything. And then all of a sudden she's in this sort of, yeah, I can do this awesome fighting person called the Killer of Man. I mean, it's really interesting how they do that. Now she has this role and she has sort of a body that she's not used to having and, you know, everything like that. And then there's Jack Black. Jack Black gets to play a Instagram-obsessed teenager. Yes, you open up in her shot and she's setting up a shot for Instagram and social media that says no filter. Yes, one of those that really annoys people like me. But that doesn't matter. All of that, and she is then thrust into this middle-aged, overweight man. And Jack Black, you can tell, just has a phenomenal time playing this role and going through. So basically, what's really great about this entire movie is then from being in a video game, they had things of video games that people could enjoy. For example, they had non-player characters that show up and they sort of drive them around, or in one case, they drove them around and they say certain responses, trying to get you to certain parts of the game. But the thing is if you ask them a question they're not programmed for, then they still say the same responses. So they're helpful, but they're not helpful. Everything. They had cutscenes, which they kind of had a little fun with on that one, and everything. And it's just really, it was a really good dynamic to go from the sort of board game into the more modern video game and how they do all that and everything. They had levels, and it's actually a really good story overall. I mean, they're trying to get something, and they had to get through the jungle. There's a big bad guy, everything. There's henchmen, and they increase levels in the video game. And it was just very well done on that part. Now, when we get to the actual ratings, when I went into this movie, I was not expecting it to be good. I was not. It had Dwayne Johnson, Kevin Hart, Jack Black, those three right there. They're not known for making good movies. They are known for making entertaining movies. So I was expecting to go in to have a good laugh, and this movie definitely delivered. So was it a good movie? It wasn't the artsy sort of, you know, highbrow everything, but it had enough entertainment value that I'm going to say it was extremely entertaining. So while it was an movie, still entertaining, still worth going to see. Definitely go see this one. Maybe catch on like a second run or a matinee showing. One of those types. And then when it comes to what age you would take your kids, it's rated PG-13. There were parts of it that were kind of scary for younger kids, and there's also a lot of language throughout, which you can kind of expect when Kevin Hart's in it, because he kind of doesn't know how to hold his mouth. And then there's a few jokes that are a little bit adult for those. I don't want to spoil anything about that, but there are a few jokes that, but while they are hilarious, they're a little bit adult-wise. So I'd say probably maybe 11 or 12. or even do the PG-13 of that age. But anyway, that was Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle. A great movie. If you're looking for something entertaining, I would highly recommend it. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe down below. Share this one with your friends. It's one that really deserves a little bit of credit and everything. God bless all of you, and that's a wrap.